continuum where past and future.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second episode, but the first live episode of the A&E podcast. I am Andy Stowe. He is Eddie from Ackworth, and we want to thank everyone that's joining us tonight and has hopped in here. We hope y'all can get in the chat and fire it up and maybe talk some Braves with us and tell us why we were wrong on our picks or our choices, and maybe we can find out why Eddie's bracket is awesome. Eddie, how are things going in Ackworth?
Things are going well, Andy, and appreciate y'all joining in. Once again, thank you to Fruit Band for letting us use their music to open the show. As always, go check them out. Andy had that up a minute ago. But just to let you guys know, behind the scenes a little bit, kind of like the sausage is made. So Andy and I talk about the show before we do it, obviously, and go through some things. And I'll just let you guys know that are listening, those of you who are listening later, appreciate it. But Andy wanted us to put up our brackets on the screen and go through piece by piece and show you guys how we were doing and say, oh, I'm doing good, you're doing bad, and pick them apart. And I said, Andy, that's a bad idea. So I had to talk him off the ledge because nobody gives two craps about A, your fantasy football team, and B, your bracket. No one cares but you. Right, Andy? Is that what you said pretty much?
I think it was actually word for
word.
Wasn't
that verbatim?
It was the exact word.
Yeah,
you nailed it. That was exactly how I said it. And so he taught me off of it. So we're just going to let
Eddie
run it.
My friend.
I'm sitting back. Eddie's going to run it. I'm done for the night. So I'll click end stream when he decides to tell me to end stream. So no, well, guys,
I'm just sharing with the viewers and the listeners the sausage, right? How the show's made. I thought they'd enjoy it.
Everybody wants to know. Yeah, you got to know how it's made. But no, Eddie, there's a lot that's going on right now. You got Georgia is in the middle of spring practice. This is the second week. The Falcons haven't made any real moves this week, but the draft's coming up. I think it's April 24th. Is that right? Yeah, April 25th is when it starts, I guess. And the Braves. The Braves are going to be playing live baseball in 7 days from now. They open up with a 3-game.
Or wait, no, a week from today because we're a day game, right?
Yeah, that's 3:05. It's a terrible time, but they play Thursday at 3:05 versus the Phillies, which again is stupid that they're going to Philadelphia when it will probably be a snowstorm and you can be down here and it's 70. But they will play. Sorry, I got distracted. And James, I'm going to post a link if you want to join us.
I would agree with James on that.
Sure.
That post right there.
Sure, because I'm gonna post 100%. This. But yeah, so they open up a 3-game series with the Phillies. They play on Thursday, and then they're all Friday. They play Saturday and Sunday, and then they will go to Chicago to play the White Sox for a 3-game series. And then they will come back home, and they'll finally have a home game in Atlanta, in which it'll be on Friday, April the 5th. They open up a 3-game series with the Diamondbacks. And they recently have made a lot of announcements. They announced that Spencer Strider was going to be the opening day starter, which is weird because Max Fried has been the opening day starter for the past three seasons. They announced that Bryce Elder and Huascar Ynoa was going to AAA, and Ronaldo Lopez is going to be the 5th starter. And they also announced that Adam Duvall is going to platoon with Jared Kelenic in left field. How do you feel about these moves? If you were Alex Anthopoulos and Brian Snitker, is this how you would have made the choices?
Well, it's hard to argue with Alex and Brian. I mean, they're just – Alex is a genius when it comes to roster management. We love Brian Snitker. I mean, he's just the man. We trust what these guys do. But before I get into that, Andy, I just wanted to say real quick, part of the reason the Braves have continuously opened on the road, I've heard that is their choice. They prefer to open on the road because it helps. Yes, they have that choice, and it helps them down the road with more not more home games, but home games that are more beneficial to them. So that's part of Brian Snitker and I think Alex Anthopoulos doing that. Now, we can sit here and talk about what an idiot Rob Manfred is because we're opening, as you said, Philadelphia, where it's probably going to be 20 degrees and the wind blowing in. And then we got to go to Chicago, which is just a nightmare this time of year. So that's just silliness. It should be better placed, with Southern teams like Texas. They're playing that night we're not playing at night. Texas is playing. Who are they playing, Andy? You remember the Rangers? It doesn't matter. They're opening in their dome. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But they're opening in their dome where it's, nice and conditioned, right? So it's a perfect opening night. But back to your question, I'll address it this way with the starting pitching. And you brought up Spencer Strider starting over Max Fried. Do you know how many years in a row he started? Has it been 2, 3 years? He's been
3 years. Yeah.
The opening starter for 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
I think there's two things at play here, Andy. One is the spring that Spencer Strider is having. I mean, it's just ridiculous what he's doing. And he's working in now another pitch. So good luck with a curveball from Spencer Strider, right? But Andy, this is why. I'll read this to you, okay? Max Fried against the Phillies has a 4-4 record with a 3.62 ERA. You know what Spencer Strider's record is against the Phillies? 8-0 with a 1.90 ERA. That's the way you start the series, with that badass right there.
Yeah. What's up, James? Yeah. What do you think about that? Spencer Strider versus Max Fried starting. How do you feel?
I mean, I'm fine with it. I thought they were going to go Max.
I do too.
Just because Philly's going to be so fired up to get another crack at Spencer, but I love the balls of the team to say, all right, Spencer, you're going to go out there game one. The crowd's going to be going crazy. Shut him down. And I saw a lot of people complaining, disrespect to Max. I don't think anyone on that team sees it that way. So, they're two of the best pitchers in the league. So you could go either way. I wouldn't have been mad. I don't think either of them would have been mad either.
So that's kind of my question. Do y'all think that Max Fried sees it as a, hey, wait a minute, I've been here for this long. I've been the opening day starter. Maybe it's some sort of extra motivation that he can go out because, I've said I think he wins the Cy Young this year. I think Max Fried's going to be that guy. So do y'all think he takes it as motivation, or do you think he says, hey, I get it. It is what it is. So.
I think part of that is these guys. Sorry, James. I think part of it is Brian Snitker. These guys love this guy. They will run through a wall for him, and they trust what this guy is doing, saying with the lineup. He's won him a World Series already. I think that's the biggest part of it. Max, and you know what? 5 games into the season, is anybody give 2 craps who was the opening day pitcher? No, it doesn't matter at that point, right? It's a cool thing for one day, and then no one cares. So Max is a professional. He doesn't care.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me that Max Fried isn't the opening day starter. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I guess I was just kind of hoping it was going to be Fried. That was kind of where I like him. And but I do think, I don't know. I think it could be with Spencer Strider, as good as he's looked in the spring, he may go out there and shut them down. And then if he does that, he's got Fried coming in after him. That's hard to beat. That's probably the best 1-2 punch in baseball. But we also got announced that.
Yeah, I have nothing. I mean, you guys hit on the nail on the head. I guess the only thing I'd add is when Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine were all pitching, they all kind of rotated between. Maddox had the bulk of them, but if they can split it, these guys can split it.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't know. I'm just kind of a Max Fried guy, so it kind of hurts my.
I certainly don't think it plays into. Yeah, but I also certainly don't think it plays into anything like, oh my God, they're not going to sign Max Fried. Max is thinking, screw y'all, I'm going to the Dodgers. No, absolutely not. Now, I think Max, in the back of his mind, may be thinking, when is this contract coming? What's up? But I don't think it has anything to do with opening day starter at all. Do y'all?
Nah, I don't think so. No. Well, they also announced that Bryce Elder and Huascar Ynoa was going down, and they were going to have Renato Lopez. I don't think that's a huge deal because last year the Braves used 16 different starters during the season. We're going to need Bryce Elder and we're going to need Huascar Ynoa. I think it's a good thing. I don't think, like they've struggled a little bit. So I think, hey, go get a little experience, I don't know, maybe knock the rust off, maybe, just get the nerves worked out. So I think it's a good thing. And again, 16 starters last year, we're going to need, that's only 2 guys. So we're going to need a lot of guys. Y'all think it's the right move that right now that they name Renato Lopez the starter? Because who knows? He's not been the greatest starter in his career. So he could end up having a rough year, and they will need Elder, and they will need Ynoa to be that 5th guy.
Right. Go ahead, James.
So from David O'Brien's interview on the Athletic or article where he talked to Snicker, and Snit said the 100% reason behind doing Ronaldo first is it's much easier to build a guy up to a starter in the beginning of the season than in the middle. It was nothing about, Elder's not looking great. Now, I'm fine with that because I think Ronaldo's ultimate value is going to be that swing starter in the playoffs or a guy that's going to come in, throw 2 to 3 innings. I like Bryce Elder on the fact that I think there's extreme value on having a fifth starter during a 162 game season, pitch against the Pirates and, those lowly teams. And he's only 24. Yeah, his arm ran out of gas, but that was his first time getting over 120 innings. So this happened last year. Schuster and Dodd got the first starts, and then Elder came in and he was put in a bad position. And a lot of times he was the number 2 starter on the team with injuries. So,
he was really the number 1 starter. Yeah, he was the number 1.
And it's unfair to him, but he handled it great. So I think he'll be back. I like that Snit and AA understand that the regular season and postseason are completely different animals, and we're not just going to run the same team out in the regular season as we are in the postseason.
Yeah, that's why we lost last year. We didn't have the postseason pitchers. We didn't have the guys that could throw that. And I mean, like I said, I like Bryce Elder. I don't think his stuff is great, but you look at the guys like in Philadelphia, they're going to hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. And that's why we went out and got Lopez. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I'm not sold on Ronaldo Lopez because he has struggled a little bit when he started. I mean, he's actually struggled a good bit when he started. So I think we're going to see what he's got. And again, maybe he is that swing guy. Maybe they say, okay, look, when we get to the playoffs, we're going to go 4 starters, providing everyone's healthy. And then we'll have Ronaldo Lopez, who can be the hard throwing starter, or he can be that longer or short reliever, because when he's short relieving, he can throw 97. When he's starting, he's throwing 94 or 95.
Well, I also think Ronaldo Lopez plays more into what Alex and Brian have learned over the past couple of years, that the ultimate goal, I know it's to beat the Phillies opening weekend, right? We want to at least get 2 out of 3. But the ultimate goal is beating the Phillies in October. And you're not going to beat the Phillies in October with a Bryce Elder who's nibbling. You're going to beat the Phillies in October with a Ronaldo Lopez who's throwing BBs, and Bryce Harper can't catch up to his fastball. That's the difference right there. Now, we can talk about the bats. That was a once-in-a-lifetime thing that happened against the Phillies. I don't think that'll be repeated, right, where our bats went from here all the way down to here in 4 games we lost and we lose that 3-1. I can't even remember at this point, but that was ridiculous. But if we had any kind of pitching, it would have helped, right? Maybe 1 hit or 2 here or there makes the difference. But yeah, Lopez fits into their new philosophy beautifully, I think.
He does. Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to say, hey, throw 180 innings. They don't want that. Build them up because I've been on the record, the Braves bullpen was a big weakness last year, and their numbers were inflated. Against the Phillies and Dodgers, bullpen ERA was 4.66. They have a lot of good lefties in that bullpen, but you need that hard-throwing right-handed reliever that can come in when a pitcher inevitably struggles. Jackson Stevens, I like him. He's not that guy to win you a playoff series. So Lopez is going to come in, and you always see these guys in the playoffs like, this guy didn't start that much, but he's coming in, he's just shoving. That's the guy. I see huge values from innings 4 to innings 6 in a long postseason run. So build him up now. I'm fine with it. If you're going to say we need him for 180 innings, then I think that's a mistake, but I don't think the team plans to use him that way.
Well, to talk briefly about your bullpen, what you just said there, I think the biggest missing piece of that bullpen the past year and a half, basically, Tyler Matzik.
Yep.
Yeah.
That guy, when he's on, is an animal. Go back and watch when the 2nd and 3rd, nobody out against the Dodgers. The series was over. And like you just said, he shoved it. I mean, that's one of the greatest moments in Braves history. And now he's throwing even harder from what I've been reading.
Yeah, he's throwing – I don't know if he's throwing harder. I know he was throwing mid-90s.
I thought I'd read his velocity had gone up just a little bit.
Okay, I think he's still throwing around – yeah, I think he's throwing around 95. The times I've seen him.
Well, that's pretty damn good. I mean,
yeah, it's great. I mean, as long as
throw it 90, can you throw it 95, Andy? I know you can run a 4,
10 times. Throw the ball 10 times and add it up, and it'll equal 95. Now, the hardest I could ever throw.
I know you can run You can run a 4.8 40, right? Can you throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball?
Now, the hardest I could ever throw was I think I could throw 61, but I never got any harder than that. I didn't have the rocket in the arm. What about you, James? Didn't you play college ball?
From the outfield, I could get in the 90s. I don't know, 95 would be tough, but I think from the outfield, I was getting the low to mid 90s, but my arm is trash.
That's taking a running start and flipping over as you throw the ball, right? Yeah, that doesn't count.
Off the mound, no shot.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear what Mookie Betts said on his podcast about Matzik?
Yep, I did. Go ahead, James. Tell everybody.
So he had Dansby on, and he's like, I want to address that second and third. He goes, Matzik was throwing 1,000,000 miles per hour rise balls. We all knew he was throwing fastballs down the middle, and we couldn't hit it. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. I mean, and I got kind of goosebumps just Eddie talking about it, because I'll randomly just turn on that clip and just watch it just to get myself in the zone.
Well, when Tyler Matzik started getting like really, I mean, he was getting used a lot, but like when he takes that left leg and he buries it into the mound, and then he does that like torque thing. I always thought he was going to hurt his hips doing that stuff. Like it's just like, I don't know. He's different. And I mean, in the parade when they tried to arrest him because they didn't know who he was, that was awesome.
Is that him? I thought that was Mentor. Wasn't that Mentor?
No, it was Matzik.
It was Matzik.
Oh, it was Matzik. Okay. I don't know. I got mixed up.
But I agree, Eddie. We missed him so much because now you have Matzik, Minter, Bummer, and Lee. Those guys are on this team to strike out Harper, Schwarber, Ohtani, and Freeman. That's your job in the playoffs, and we have those horses back.
If Ohtani's not suspended for illegal
gambling. And club fed.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. Have you been keeping up with that, Eddie?
Yeah, real quick on Garrett's comment. That's a great comment. Top 10? Hell no. That may be a top 4 for me. I saw 3 with James. Yeah, I can't think of a better moment. I mean, you could talk about the Adam Duvall home run. I mean, that place the grand slam. Yeah, but it didn't really lead to anything. The grand slam that Adam Duvall had, we ended up losing that game. Obviously, the Soler is 1 or 2, right? I mean, that home run was epic. But I agree. I think, Garrett, it may be a top 4 to me. That was an unbelievable – just to come in that situation. There were nobody out, second and third, right? And he struck out the side. I mean, that was ridiculous at home too. Yeah, no, he's a postseason guy. He's a guy that we've got to have. We've got to have that guy. Braves icon because of that.
Yeah,
Nutsack, right? Isn't what he calls himself?
That's what he calls himself, Tyler Nutsack Matzik. So yeah, he's that guy. And we didn't have, and even, Jock Peterson, like he's that crazy guy. That's kind of what we were missing. And I think that's why we got Chris Sale. He's a great pitcher, but Chris Sale's that crazy guy. And we needed some crazy guy. And that's what they are. So I think the moves they made this year kind of are playing into that postseason. That's what they're looking for. They know we can go out and win 100 games. They're looking to win those final games in the postseason. But I think, I'm ready. I think they're going to be great. And so I want to get your guys' opinion at the end of the year, and y'all kind of know where I'm at because I'm a Max Fried guy. Who is going to be the Braves' best pitcher statistically, and who is going to be the Braves' best hitter statistically?
Go ahead, James.
I'm going to say Spencer because of Fried's injury risk, even though I think Fried lasts the whole year. This is a contract year, but I think they're both going to be top 5 in the Cy Young. And then hitting wise, Acuna is the best player, but outside of Acuna, I think it's going to be Austin Riley. I see a 40 home run, 40 double season as the captain. So I think he's a dark horse MVP candidate.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a dark horse. That's where I'm going. Those are my 2 guys. Yeah. Like I said, I got Fried, but yes, I think that Austin Riley is going. I think they're not going to pitch to Olsen as much this year. I think they'll probably look to go to Riley some more, and I think he's going to capitalize. I'm thinking 40 home runs, 110 RBI. I think he's going to be unreal this year, and he may win the Gold Glove at third base. Yep. He's that good. Eddie?
Well, I'm going to go different just because you guys kind of said similar things. I'm going to go Chris Sale. I think that guy comes in and he beasts out for us. It's time. He's healthy, feeling as good as he's ever felt. I'm going to go Chris Sale. And I'm going to also go, Acuna is a given, right? He may win in the second MVP for all we know. The guy's just unbelievable. He's an alien. I'm not far behind you on Austin Riley. I think it's time. I'm going to go Ozzy Albies just because I think Ozzy Albies, it's time for him to step up and really just slap the ball all over and be what I like to call a pest, because that's what he is. He's just a pest. Gets on base, steals second. Those little guys drive you nuts. So I'll go with him. And by the way, he's one of my favorite players. I love Ozzy Albies. Just love it.
Well, he's going to be hitting behind Ronald Acuna and in front of Austin Riley. He's going to see some balls, and I mean, it's going to be. He's going to get a lot of fastballs down the middle, and because they know that Acuna can hit 50, and they know that Austin Riley can hit 40 or 50. So yeah, he's going to get a lot. Yeah, I think, like Garrett said, is he sneaky? Again, I don't think it's sneaky. I think he could very well be. I mean, can he hit 30? Could he hit 35 home runs this year? Is it possible? Is that too many? I don't know. So I think
it's tough to say sneaky when every single player on the team pretty much is an all-star.
The best player at their position. Yeah.
One thing I'm interested to see if Michael Harris gets off to a really hot start and Ozzy maybe not playing as great as he is, do you flip him and have Michael batting 2-hole? But I think it may, like, what do you want in the postseason? Because Michael Harris has been a Jason Hayward clone in the playoffs. He's still young. I'm not going to hold it too much against him, but he's been terrible. But I think he's going to really take off now that he's getting older. And you could see him sneak up into that second spot. But I know they like him behind Ozuna.
Yeah, I liked him down there in the bottom spot. I liked get on here, Paul. I really liked I liked him in that 9 slot, but I do think that he may get to that 2 slot because if he's going to have the high batting average, and I think Ozzy strikes out a little too much for a traditional 2-hitter, and I think that if Michael Harris is having a good year, I could see him swap him and put Ozzy down there in the 6th slot to give him more RBI opportunities and home run opportunities. Well, if Paul Meharry's not going to join us, I guess we'll talk about some more Braves because he doesn't like to talk Braves as much.
This is nice.
Yeah, we're just going to talk all Braves. Where's Paul at? No, he's not going to come on. But no, all right, well, so to finish up on the Braves, how do y'all feel about Kelenic and Duvall? Is that a good move? Do y'all think that's going to hurt Kelenic, or do you think they should have done it? Is that a good move to go ahead and get the righty to platoon with him?
I'll jump in here, James. I definitely think so. I think it was driven more by Acuna's injury than anything. They kind of looked, well, wait a minute. We didn't think about this kind of thing. We need another guy in that outfield. And Duvall's just sitting there. He's a Braves icon. He loves the Braves. Everybody loves Adam Duvall, who's a Braves fan. So it was kind of a no-brainer to sit there and sign the guy. But I feel that Forrest Walsh would probably be the left fielder, and I would bat him, is what Paul says.
And he said he'd bat him. I think you're taking shots at me now.
Is there a way to do a smart ass, some sort of thing in there about sarcasm?
There's a link.
I know what he's saying,
Paul.
But haven't they already announced or told the left fielders that Jared Kelenic, you're starting the first 2 games, and Adam Duvall, you're in the 3rd game?
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's what I thought. So I think that it was strictly motivated by injury. I don't think it was motivated by Kelenic struggling. By the way, I read that he's kind of changed his swing a little bit. It's already helping. I watched a video today. You saw him get a nice hit today. I think he'll be fine, and I'm excited for the guy. I can't wait to see what he does.
Yeah, he's starting to hit the ball a lot better. I think his stats,
just keep those strikeouts down. That drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with Kelenic. He strikes out a ton, but yeah, he's still leading the team in at bats. He's got 48, but he has 6 hits now, which I know that doesn't sound like, oh, wow, but he has.
We had 2 last week, right? So it's 4 recently or something like that, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, James, about that left field?
I agree. I mean, the team, all the coaches are saying Kelenic's looking really good. In spring training, I don't buy into the stats. I think the Braves always wanted a right-handed bat to platoon, not 50-50. And I think they like Forrest Wall still being young as, that pinch runner, late inning guy. And when Duvall pops up for $3 million, you can't say no to that. And he can play all 3 positions. So I like it. I think Kellenick is going to get every opportunity to win that job. And Duvall's experienced enough. He's won a World Series. He knows he's not coming in here to play 130, 40 games. He's going to come in, but there's going to be injuries, and he's going to get his at bats. So, it's going to be fine. But I do like Kellenick.
Yeah, I think.
I bet Duvall's just tickled to be signed, period, and more so even with the Braves, right? Because he was sitting on his couch a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing, and he can be that right-handed power hitter off the bench. Who knows? He may come in for a pinch hit home run. He's that type of guy that we need. And I see there's a lot of people talking about Weatherman probably told Eddie the same thing here. Talking about the Georgia basketball team. I know, Eddie, the NIT's not what you really care about. I know it's it is what it is. But they did win. They did win Tuesday night, sorry. And they play Saturday versus
they play Sunday.
They play Sunday versus Wake Forest, 4:00, right?
4:00, yeah.
So are you going to watch? Do you care? Are you still going to be doing yard work instead of watching the basketball game?
I will be watching the NCAA, the tournament that matters that day, okay? And probably with 2 minutes left in the game, I might flip it over and see how it's going and see if they win. Garrett, I'm sorry. I just don't care. It's the not in the tournament tourney. I don't care. Once again, if we win on Sunday, is a recruit at home who's thinking about Georgia versus Kentucky going to go, oh, my God, I'm going to Georgia. Here we go. No, that's not happening. And if they lose, we'll be right back here next year going, what did they do last year? I can't even remember. So there you go. Go ahead, Garrett. Take it away.
No, you're good. I'm Eddie. I get it. It is. It's hard right now because you're seeing like.
Wait a minute. Wait. That shirt, you got to.
Yeah.
What does it say? Oh, that is fantastic. That is an epic shirt. I have to get that.
It is awesome. Yeah.
For those of you listening, it says "Screw Florida" and the mule they rode in on. Perfect.
And it's true for everything, no matter what. So, but yeah, like I get it. Watching like today's games and stuff, it kind of brings you're like, damn, like why can't we be here and everything? But like I said, I was kind of messing with you, Eddie, through the tweets and everything like that. But I understand, it's hard to get up for this thing, and I went from literally like game against when they were playing like. This team, there's no team like Georgia basketball who can snatch victory. What is it? Snatch victory from
defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, and they were on their way to doing that. And it's just like I was talking to people. It's like I was grinning ear to ear, like, man, this is actually fun. This is some competent, good basketball that first half, and then you just saw it like from 7 minutes in that second half, the lead just going down. You're like, holy crap, this could actually happen. Like this could be a loss. And they got through it, and yeah, they're going to play Sunday. Probably not going to beat Wake, but you just never know. But like I said, I get where you're coming from, Eddie, and James. I know you're kind of the same way. It's hard to get up for this thing. I mean, it is not a body tournament. We know what it is. We know what it means. At the end, can you name the NIT champion from last year? I sure as hell can't. No, I can't tell you who won that. I can't tell you who was in the Final Four. So in the end, it doesn't probably mean anything. It's going to be up to what Mike White can do. Like what can he do with the portal? Can he keep Demery? Can he keep Blue? Can he keep James? Can he maybe keep RJ? What's going on with that? Everyone wants to know what's going on with RJ. Like he played really good. And I don't know if something's going on, if there's been some rift, but that's been kind of perplexing me, seeing like what's going on. But it'll be what we do in off season.
I'll kick it to James next, but at least our AD wasn't tweeting or liking tweets about how awful we were in the NIT, much like the Virginia AD who was playing to get in the NCAA tournament and looked like absolute ass.
That was so bad.
AD is liking tweets with memes making fun of their own team. I mean, how pathetic is that? Anyway, we're not in that situation, but at least they were playing to go to the NCAA. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Garrett that I didn't watch the game, but I watched Garrett tweet through it. That was the entertainment for me.
I'm here for y'all.
But I want to defend Eddie. I know that guy was getting on us in the tweets, and shout out to me for pumping the Sunday
Yes,
podcast
there you go.
that I'm on.
Shout out to me.
In silence
Me
we
sure
trust.
to say
In
shout out to
silence we
me.
trust.
I'm the plug guy. But obviously we all want Georgia to win. It's good for the program. It's just I'm not going to watch. I'm not a big basketball fan to begin with. I'm much more of a hockey fan than basketball. I watch because I love sports, but I'm not going to watch an NIT tournament. I'm sorry, but I'll like a tweet that Georgia won. But like Eddie said, I don't think a recruit that's sitting there on the fence and like, oh wow, I saw Georgia squeeze out that game there. That's really going to push me there. So sure, we all want Georgia to win, but
You're
maybe
right.
blame the football team. We have high standards, and I'm not going to watch NIT. I'll watch every real tournament game. I watch them in the SEC tournament, but I'm not going to watch NIT.
Well, I did watch the NIT game, and I will watch Sunday just because. But like James said, I'm not a huge basketball fan either. It's just always kind of been I'll watch it if nothing else is on sport. But I do hope they do good, just because it's like it's Georgia, so I'm hoping they at least can. Like the guy posted, Alex West said they've beaten Wake Forest already. So hey, it's possible. Maybe they can do it again.
Yep.
But I think the biggest misnomer of fans is that you're going to build momentum for next year off of this. Go talk to Kirby Smart. Is there any momentum built off of our ass kicking in the Orange Bowl against FSU? Now that was an awesome game, right?
Yeah.
Did we gain any momentum for this year off of that? No, because at the minute that game is over, everything changes for this year, right? And it's the same for basketball.
What about that game versus Cincinnati a couple years ago? If we would have lost that game,
it didn't matter. That would have made no difference for the next year.
I don't know.
No, it wouldn't have. James, tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead,
You
James.
can't lose those games, but losing would be detrimental. Winning doesn't propel you, but they're absolute.
Exactly right.
It's a bad position because they can't lose games. It's not a must-win for the program, but you can't lose them.
Yep,
Simple as that.
Are you serious? So if we had lost to Cincinnati, we may not have gotten some of the recruits we did? Seriously?
No, not the recruits, but the program as a whole, the fans. I'm saying the fans' thoughts of the team would have been down.
They would have been down for a week and a half. And then as time goes on and we get to August, we're right back where we were to begin with. I think it has no bearing on the next season at all. Zero.
If y'all recall, that game changed how Kirby approached bowl games. If you remember in 2019,
well, that's true. Yeah,
Texas. When he brought all those players and obviously the opt out. So Fields 5 days later he goes.
You're talking about the Texas game we lost.
Yeah, that changed.
Wait, that was the game where Texas was back, right?
Oh yeah. That was it. They were back.
Manager took it to. It did change a lot, and that was.
And I think he has handled. For bowl games since then, I think Kirby's really done a good job with it. He's the master at anything when it comes to roster management, but I think he learned from that. But I think you're saying, Eddie, that did it propel anything that 2020? Maybe probably not, but I think it helped Kirby at least learn what to do when it comes to these, especially the opt outs and stuff. Like, hey, if you're gonna opt out, you're not gonna be with the team.
Yeah, that's a great point. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I just want to win. At the end of the day, it may or may not matter, but I hope they win.
I also get tired of people dictating to me, others who feel the same way I do. Well, you're not a true fan. Okay. Come on. Give me a break. That's just so stupid. They want to define fandom. Well, if you need to go to every game and sit your butt in the seat and watch them in person, you're not a true fan, buddy. Come on. I could be the biggest fan on my couch, just like you could be at the game. It doesn't matter. Okay. I still root for my team. It's so stupid. Go ahead, Andy.
I was told I wasn't a true fan when I wanted Mark Richt fired. I was,
there you go. Bingo. I was told that numerous times.
It was the craziest thing. I was like, so I'm not a true fan because I want Georgia football to win national championships. Yeah, I'm not a true fan then. I never understood what if we get rid of Richt? What if we only win 7 games next year? So what? What's 9 games? It's the same crap. It doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
So, well, guys, I do want to ask y'all about football before we get out of here. The spring ball is underway, and there are a lot of rumors out there about who's doing good, kind of who's showing out. The rumors are that Trevor Etienne is that guy. Like he is going to be that guy halfback. But there's another guy that's behind him that they're talking about a lot, Roderick Robinson. Is he going to be that guy? Have y'all been hearing about how he's looking and how in shape and how fast he's running? I think they said he ran like 21 miles per hour on the GPS.
Garrett, go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, it gets you grinning, you know. I mean, it's just hard not to, like, we've heard what ETN's been doing, and then you see what Roderick's been doing, and I mean, it's exactly what you want to hear at this point in spring ball. You know, I mean, I don't think anybody's really doubting that running back field's really in any peril right now, especially with what's going on, you know, but it just makes you feel that much better, no doubt.
And Roderick Robinson is a tree. That's what he looks like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness.
Does he remind you a little bit of Chubb with how he's kind of built?
I think he does, but he's bigger. That's the thing. He's stacked even more. And you look at Chubb when we was coming in. You remember that video of Chubb when he's jumping in the air and his legs were up in the air in high school? We're like, holy cow, we have an alien coming in. And then he's squatting, 800 pounds. And we're like, holy crap. And Rod may be even bigger and better. I don't know if he's going to be better, but he's bigger. Yeah. So it's incredible. James, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he went to high school right down the road from me, so I went and saw him, and it was just like stupid seeing him playing with other high school kids. So I like the thunder and lightning aspect. The room's so deep. I have no doubts about you have so many stacked athletes, and as they get healthier, it's top to bottom. You're not going to be able to find a better running back group in the nation by a lot.
I went and pulled up some videos. I'd suggest you guys do this. I'm sure James has. He's a nerd like me, but go watch ETN's highlight videos from last year with Florida. And you said it perfectly, thunder and lightning, because ETN is smaller and he gets lost. He finds his way, and there's one video of him pushing off. There's a big tackle running in front of him, and he's patient and just pushes the guy in front of him and then just darts away, and he's just lost in the shuffle, and he goes for 50 yards. That's what ETN brings. Roderick can bring the hammer and get you those 2 to 3 yards that you got to have. I love that. I love backs, kind of like a Warwick Dunn. That's what ETN reminds me a little bit of.
He reminds me a little bit of DeAndre Swift. I see some DeAndre Swift.
Well, he's smaller than DeAndre Swift.
He is, but he's got that hide and shift and go, that one cut and go. I just love that explosive cut and go. When DeAndre Swift would do that jump cut thing, he would act like he's going left and just jump and go right. That was
little dead leg thing he did.
Oh, God, that was like the coolest thing ever. I loved watching DeAndre Swift play, and that's what seeing ETN kind of do that hide and go thing. It reminds me a lot of him.
And we've talked about 2 guys in the running back room. There's 3 freshmen who are sitting back there. Nate Frazier may be better than any of them. We don't know yet, right? I mean, we are and by the way, we hadn't even mentioned Branson Robinson. Yeah. That guy's an animal when he's healthy. I mean, he could be the number 1 back before the year's over. Who knows? It's just ridiculous, the wealth of riches we have right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, his health scares me. I'm not sure. I really hope he can get healthy. But I kind of think if they get anything from him this year,
that's a bonus. That's a bonus.
Yeah, that's what I just kind of think he's sort of, trying to get healthy, and hopefully in the next year he can be that. But you saw with Nick Chubb, when his first year back, he wasn't the same guy. And then the second year he was the best running back in college football. Well, and there's another guy that I'd read about is Colby Young. He's getting a lot of love. Y'all have been praising him. I think both Eddie and James were like saying that's the dude. And they're saying he is that guy. If he is that guy, they said he's faster than what everybody thought.
Mm-hmm.
If he is faster and he is that size, do you take him off the field at all? Or is he that guy to break that 1,000-yard receiver? But finally get a 1,000-yard receiver. Is he that guy?
Go ahead, James.
He definitely has the talent. They like to rotate so much, so it's hard to put 1,000 on somebody with their scheme. But I heard his blocking as well. And that keeps you on the field more. So
yep.
I think he'll be our best receiver. It's hard to put a yard marker out with this offense because it's death by 1,000 cuts. We're going to bring 1,000 soldiers at you and just keep running them line after line. But I think he's going to be a stud. And then, I heard London's been getting reamed a little bit. I think they said Arian's looking good blocking. So I think you
yeah.
lit that fire under Arian, like, hey, buddy, we're going to take your job if you don't step up. So I think we get a bounce back with Arian. I mean, you have that deep flyer and then Colby.
It's hard for me not to root for Arian too. You know, like, I mean, last year, I think when we saw that Ohio State game, like, this dude's about to break out, you know, and then he had the problems with the drops last year, like, and I think I don't know about, I kind of thought he would hit the portal, you know, and then
I did too,
you know, and then he's here and you're reading this practice, so he's kind of my guy who's like, I'm really rooting forward to do well this year, because I think he's trying and he's not just taking the easy road and, you know, going on out, which it was there for him to probably do that, you know.
Let's not forget, though, Ladd McConkey had the drops for a little while, too.
Right.
Everybody seems to gloss over that. He had the exact same thing Arian Smith went through, and now he may be taken in the late first round, maybe second round. I mean, it's crazy, right?
Good point.
But I think Colby Young is your Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint replacement. That's what I see him doing. And
is he a faster version of Marcus Rosemy?
Yes, that's exactly right. That's what I was going to say. He may be faster. Yeah. And Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint, I've told you guys, one of my favorite players at the University of Georgia. Selfless, did everything he needed to do. But I'm really excited. And you brought it up, James, talking about the kid from Vanderbilt. What's his name?
London Humphreys.
London Humphreys. He was talking about how nervous he was going into practice because of Kirby with his mic. He's infamous for that, right? And he said he was he thought Kirby was going to lay into him because he did something wrong, and it wasn't Kirby. It was James Coley who lit his ass up. And then he said Kirby likes to look at stuff, and Kirby's like a talker, like on the NBA floor where he's making fun of players and stuff. He finds out stuff about their family and this kind of thing, and he called him track ass. He said, you need to get your track ass out there and do this thing right. And he's like, I haven't run track in 4 years. What does he tell? But he used to run track, and he just totally caught him off guard. I just love that. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I've been hearing Kirby. He has been all over those guys this week.
Right. You can physically hear him where you work, right?
Yeah. So I park right beside the practice field. And so as soon as I walk out my building, I hear Kirby yelling, and he does not give them any slack. He does. And he's been yelling at the coaches to make sure they're coaching them up. I mean, he is.
Oh, really? He does. He yells at the coaches. I didn't know that.
He does. Yeah. He's
wow.
Like,
yeah, I heard T-Rob was getting it from Kirby. Just the DBs
really? Now that I did not know. I thought it was strictly yelled at players. I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think he was getting on T-Rob and Coach Searles. I think he was getting on Stacey Searles for
really.
Nice, love it.
He does, like, I'm telling you, if you just, and I can't really stand there long because they have people guarding it and they'll like kick you out. But when I'm walking to my truck and I'll roll down the window and just listen to him for a few minutes before I leave. Yeah, he does not. There is nobody on that roster that he will not yell and cuss at. It doesn't matter if it's a coach, a player, a ball boy. He doesn't care.
I just worry so much, guys, that Kirby Smart. Yeah, I mean, if y'all are like me, when I first saw him step to the podium, I was like, oh my God, it's like he's been president for 3 years. He's old. He looks old and beaten down already. It's just the grind this guy goes through, and like Andy said, his phone never stops. I mean, he never has a break. It's just constant. I just hope he sticks with us. We need some more damn parades,
I would like to at least get one more parade. I'd like to see two.
One. Come on.
Yeah, I want two. But look, if we get 3 national championships from Kirby Smart, dude, I wasn't even born the last time they won one. So if we get 3 in a 10-year stretch or something, I'm good with it.
We're gonna hit a run here. I'm so excited for this team and the recruits for next year. I can't stop looking at our class for next year. It's absolutely loaded on both lines of the football. I think we're gonna go on an Alabama type run.
Wait, can I stop you right there, James? I want to ask you a question. Do you think that going to this new playoff format, 12-12 for the next 2 years, and then 14 after that, possibly, do you think that's detrimental? In other words, if it was the same format with the 4 teams, Kirby would have more coming up than he would because the playoffs is a crapshoot now, right? With 12. Now I know you're playing lesser seeds. Tell me what your thoughts are on that.
It's detrimental to the sport of college football. It's detrimental to the SEC championship game, but it's not going to matter. There's such a difference between the haves and the have-not in this league. and you win that SEC, you get a bye. I don't think it's going to matter. You can let these little teams come in and act like, oh, we're excited for this number 12 versus 14th ranked team, but you're really just killing the sport, taking away, the significance of Alabama, Georgia, and the SEC championship. But it's not going to matter. And Kirby, he's different. This guy is wired like Michael Jordan's, like Nick Saban. He finds the margins in everything, and he's going to take advantage of this system. And I don't think it's going to matter.
So you think it may be an easier path for him to get more championships with the expanded playoffs?
I possibly with the bye.
I use easier with quotes. Yeah, but
I think being able to get a bye and recruit that's why Ohio State played so good against us. They had extra weeks to really study us. You give Kirby an extra week against anybody, I'm taking Kirby.
What do you think, Garrett?
Well, I mean, I think all of us are agreeing. Don't you think it's better not to probably be in the SEC championship game?
100%.
Right? Like, what
Sit
is
your ass at home?
Like, I think Jeff Dantzler said, like, if you win every game, are you playing like 17 straight games or something
17,
like that? Like, that's a lot, boys.
That's
and it just, I mean, I think it just kind of that SEC championship gets really devalued now. And I've always personally loved the SEC championship. I'm a huge fan. I just love being that means a lot to me as a Georgia fan, winning that SEC championship. And I just think now it's just kind of like you almost want to be maybe that like this seed, and then you're kind of feel like you may be rolling stuff, but that's a lot of games to play. But do we have any doubt if there's a guy to manage it who we have to get through it? I don't think so.
I've said on the Sunday night show, I think the SEC championship literally has 2 more years and it's gone.
I think it's getting close.
It's going away because it is absolutely, like you said, James, it's detrimental to playing that game now.
Yeah,
but they can't get rid of it because of the money.
For now. But like I said, if you have LSU, who's whatever, they're not going to go to the playoffs, or they might get in, versus a 12-0 Alabama, it's going to be watered down, and the money's not. I just think that it's going to be watered down. I don't think it's going to last much longer.
It is, really and if I won't get into my nerdy. I've created my own college football playoff system.
Oh my God, you really have issues, don't you have a baby?
But that's what I do when she sleeps. But I think eventually we go to the pods, the four divisions, and they're going to end up making a playoff. And the SEC and Big Ten championship playoffs is going to end up being built into the CFP. Is the way I think it's going to kind of eliminate the championship going away if it's built into the CFP. Yeah. So, that's years away, but
it wouldn't be an elimination game, right?
No, it wouldn't be.
It would be a seeding thing.
Yeah. It would be a seeding, and the 2 people in the championship, they get buys, because I don't think they're going to stop with expansion. I hate it.
No, expansion is going to.
Well, they've already expanded off the expansion.
They're expanding off the expansion. Yes, and it's going to expand off the expansion. We will see in the next 10 years. I could see us in the 20s at least.
No way. I don't think they go beyond this. I do.
I think it's going to.
Do you really?
Yes.
Well, a lot of people are wondering, is that why the SEC is doing the 8 games next year? I mean, is there plans? Because kind of everyone thought 25 would maybe go to 9 game. Are they doing that 8 game just to kind of see? Are they as coaching eyes? Still, I don't know. You saw what Clemson just did. They're in the grant of rights suing thing like FSU. That broke this week. So, I mean, it kind of makes you wonder, I mean, I don't know.
Speaking of next season, how about those 4 home games?
Alabama,
Texas, Ole Miss, Kentucky. My God, what a home schedule. That's
the away games stink, but the home game's awesome.
Who cares? Sanford Stadium is going to be. I mean, that place may explode. That's ridiculous.
Well, you saw Dash put the tweet. He put on the dog vent the what everyone's looking forward to most, and Texas just blew everything away.
Did it really?
Huge percentage.
Yeah, they've never been to Athens. So
yeah, because of the uniqueness, I guess. Yeah,
they'll be here. Yeah, so that's big.
That's interesting.
Come meet me in LA for the UCLA game. I'm driving up there, so you guys come down for Georgia UCLA.
Driving to that game.
I live in San Diego.
So
that's an easy drive.
That's an easy drive. What is that, like 90 hours?
It's an hour and a half drive.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that would be a cool game to come to. Well, guys, we've been going at this for a while. Went a little bit longer than we meant to, but we got talking about Georgia football, and it's hard to shut up. But we want to thank everyone that joined us tonight. We want to thank Garrett and James for hopping on with us and talking for an hour.
boys.
And everybody in the chat, Alex and Chris, and even that loser Paul Mahary, who would not get on here with us. But maybe he'll join us Sunday. Who knows? You can never tell with Paul. He may just send us a text. I'm not doing it Sunday. But yeah, we appreciate it, everyone. We will be back next Thursday. Ooh, I don't know. Will we be back next Thursday? Braves opening day. So that we'll have to figure that out. But what you got, Eddie? Before we go, Eddie wants to say one thing.
Before we go, thank you, James. Everybody go get a shirt that says "Screw Florida" and the mule they rode in on via Garrett Key. He can send you that. James, thank you for joining us. Get your colonoscopy. Go donate blood and go get your blood test. Save my life. Save my wife's life. Got to say it every time.
Absolutely.
Congrats on the new pod, guys. Great idea.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. We really, like I said, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't really do it. We kind of, me and Eddie were like, hey, everyone else likes to chat and just kind of talk football. Let's do it. So, but yeah, for James Caraway and Garrett Key, and of course, Mr. EFA, who has the best bracket in college basketball.
Ask me about it later.
Yeah, he'll tell you about it later. I'm Andy. We'll appreciate it. See you guys.
See ya.